Greetings. Welcome to Trinity Place in Geneva, New York. My name is Cameron Miller. We're glad you're part of this worship today. So thanks for being here. In the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, was formless void, was light, was the Spirit moving over the deep, was the Big Bang. In the beginning, it is the beginning. We have just crossed over the new year in secular time. On the church calendar, we're not quite into Epiphany yet, still Christmas season. But we know, even if the tree is still up, that this is the second to the last stop on the train to the new beginning. We are at the beginning of a new year, 2021. Or 2021. This is as close as we ever get to a fresh start. It's the beginning. So I want us to notice something about New Year's because it's instructive about so much else that we do when we gather as church or community. And what I want us to notice is that today is no different than the 365 days that came before it. No different than the preceding millennium of days. No different than the preceding billion years of days. In the history of the cosmos, today is not even another day. It is an unmeasured event in a string of other events that has no measurement nor shape. We measure time in units that are, of course, relevant to us, to our daily life and experience, but such measurement is meaningless in the universe. The cosmos is utterly indifferent to our sense of time. But even so, cosmic indifference means nothing to us because we make meaning. We make meaning. That's what we do, we human beings. We make meaning. You know, we hang time upon the sun and seasons upon the moon and a moment pregnant with meaning on the new year. It's what we do, we human beings. We make meaning. In the endless strand of cosmic events, we use time to chop up meaningful moments like a knife chopping up scallions for the salad. It's what we do, we human beings. We make meaning. But ritual, from which we make meaning, is such a struggle for many people these days. And religious ritual seems to be especially onerous just now. Think of the teenager who has grown up with ritual but sees it as empty and rote, a drudgery that adults drag them to him or her through. Or to the uninitiated in religion, those who did not grow up in church ritual. What we do for worship must seem like standing in a crowd of people speaking another language to them. The novice may be able to pick out a few words here or there that make sense, but the rest of it seems all alien. In the Episcopal Book of Common Prayer, on page 880, you will discover the rules for finding the date and day of Easter Day. Now, I'm going to read to this out loud, even though it is a lengthy quote. So here goes. It's relevant. Trust me. Easter Day is always the Sunday after the full moon that occurs on or after the spring equinox on March 21st. This full moon may happen on any date between March 21st and April 18th inclusive. If the full moon falls on a Sunday, Easter Day is the Sunday following. But Easter Day cannot be earlier than March 22nd or later than April 25th. To find the date of Easter, and I'm still reading, To find the date of Easter Day in any particular year, it is necessary to have 2 points of reference: the golden number and the Sunday letter for the year. 1. The golden number. Don't you love that? The golden number. The golden number indicates the date of the full moon on or after the spring equinox of March 21st, according to a 19-year cycle. These numbers are prefixed in the calendar to the days of the month from March 22nd to April 18th inclusive. In the present calendar, they are applicable from AD 1900 to AD 2099, after which they will change. 2. The Sunday letter identifies the days of the year when Sundays occur. After every date in the calendar, a letter appears from A to G. Thus, if January 1 is a Sunday, the Sunday letter for the year is A. And every date in the calendar marked by A is a Sunday. If January 2nd is a Sunday, then every date marked with a B is a Sunday, and so on through the 7 letters. In leap years, however, the Sunday letter changes on the first day of March. In such years, when A is a Sunday letter, this applies only to Sundays in January and February, and G is the Sunday letter for the rest of the year. Or, if D is the Sunday letter, then C is the Sunday letter on and after March 1st. To find the golden number of any year is calculated as follows. Take the number of the year, add 1, and then divide the sum by 19. The remainder, if any, is the golden number. If nothing remains, then 19 is the golden number. Oh, you get the idea. This is like the difference, seems to me, between using a computer to send an email and understanding how a microchip works. If you're like me, Easter Day is on the calendar, and so who knew it could be so complicated to find? Now, I was ordained a priest on the spring equinox, March 21st, in 1981. That means this March is my 40th anniversary of my priesthood. Holy mackerel. Anyway, the preacher at my ordination, who was a dear friend of mine, took the congregation through a hilarious imaginative scenario in which I was hiding out in the hills of southern Indiana with some small tribe of Episcopalians after some devastating Holocaust. As he described it, there I was desperately trying to figure out the golden number in the Sunday letter so that we knew the date of Easter. Judging from everybody's reaction to that sermon, no one thought that I was likely going to be able to do it. And I don't think so either. So keep those calendars coming. The point is, we go to great lengths to mark time, to preserve ritual, to nurture tradition. That's what we do, we human beings. It's how we make meaning. Behind every one of the religious rituals is an elaborate matrix of ideas and traditions, as well as the people that are set aside just to execute the ritual. If we hold them up under the light of day, standing naked in comparison to our daily chores, these rituals look like a rubber chicken used for silly gags. Under the fluorescent light of the 21st century, our ancient rituals look like museum artifacts rather than living moments in time. In other words, they no longer seem filled to the brim with meaning. Take the bread and wine ritual, for example. Put it on the sidewalk. Take it away from the subdued candle luminosity and away from filtered light of art glass. Set it on the concrete with the noise of passing traffic and without the soundtrack of church music and singing that swabs the aural afterglow. What is it then? It's cheap wine and odd bread without butter or mayonnaise. You see what I mean? New Year's Day. New Year's Day is a day like every other day since the beginning, whenever the beginning was and whoever was the author of the beginning. Well, we take New Year's Day and make it meaningful. We give it power, we give it clothing, we give it drama. It is the beginning from which we can have a fresh start. We can lose weight now, even though just yesterday we couldn't. We can spend our time differently now, even though yesterday we were unable to. We can quit smoking now, even though yesterday we didn't stand a chance. Today is different. It's the beginning. You see how we do it? It isn't fake. It isn't rote. It isn't stupid. It isn't made up. It isn't arbitrary or irrelevant. Rather, it's powerful. It's meaningful. It's ritual. We bring ordinary grape juice that has been transformed by nature and it not only becomes wine, but somehow Jesus too. We take ordinary wheat transformed by a natural process into bread and we allow it to become life. We take the historical Jesus, a human being with extraordinary wisdom and gifts, and we allow him to become our guide to a more abundant life. Heck, our rituals are so powerful, they can transform cold stone or brick buildings into sacred space. Simply with a deposit of thousands of prayers, staccato silence, private tears, healing touches, presto, a sacred place. The same thing is true. It can even happen with a group of unrelated strangers. Have them pray together, sing odd songs with one another, repeat certain ceremonies, take bold internal risks, make some personal investment, bond them with the vulnerability of intimacy, the tensions of working with strangers and others, and the challenge to grow hearts that are a size bigger, and the unexpected happens. They become a spiritual community where encounters with the holy happen, and people involved actually change as a result of being together. It becomes a sacred community. Ritual is powerful. It's transformative. It's healing. It's a weapon in our struggle for freedom from what imprisons us inside. So if you've cheated yourself lately out of ritual and diminished its influence and its power by dismissing it as, well, just ritual, and give yourself a New Year's gift and allow the joys and the power of ritual to return in 2021. Today is January 3rd, but through ritual, it's the beginning. It's your beginning. One of the unrecognized thefts of the pandemic has been ritual, especially for communities of ritual. It has robbed us of the powerful source of change, healing, and growth. It's time to take it back, even before the pandemic is ready to let go. Obviously, we cannot all come back and meet at 78 Castle Street yet, and do what we used to do without ever really thinking about how fortunate we were to do it. But we can take ritual back by adding them into our own lives at home, around the home, among friends, out in the world in some way that we might possibly do. We can do what is possible for this moment, and we can be creative in adding ritual to the long, flat landscape of pandemic. Prayer stones, candle lighting, daily walks, daily walking prayer, weekly letter writing, daily journaling, set aside times for meditation, prayer, or contemplation, set phone calls or Zoom with friends or groups of friends. There are so many things that we can do, and doing them as ritual gives them power, Gives them power that will, I promise you, surprise us. It's a new year. It's a new beginning. Make it so. It is within your own special power to do. Happy New Year. And thank you for being part of this and part of this worshiping community wherever you are. And I hope that this moment provides in the days and weeks ahead some small measure of growth, of healing, of wellness. The peace of the Lord be always with you.